Boom! Welcome back to the Sloppy Horror Podcast. I am your host and your scary movie companion, Mr. Christian Ramey, and sitting across from me is the best producer in the whole entire world, and I'm willing to say probably the whole universe. I don't know if there's producers outside of this planet, but just in case, we'll just say the world. Mark, how you living down there, brother? It's September.
In September, something of nice, remember. I don't even know those words. You think I would know those words? I don't, but that's right, it's September. It's officially fall. This is great. This is fantastic. But, unfortunately, right around the time when you probably listen to this episode, Mother Nature is getting us with another stingray session, and it's going to be hot.
9/11.
We're almost there. But we are getting down further into the sloppy road to Halloween, and it's starting to feel a little bit more like Halloween, probably to you, because, you know, if you're a spooky fan, you probably got most of your decorations out a couple weeks ago, and you probably bought new ones at this time, so good for you. Everything's looking spooky in your house. Even my mother did it. She's got her own little fucking Halloween village or whatever old ladies do. They got all that shit.
Bust out them candy corn butt plugs.
More thrift store bargains and shit of old crappy decorations that nobody wanted before, and then you buy them again. So it's good.
I love those 90s Halloween decorations, like even like the really like over the top corny ones, like the little placemats in the window ones of like the witch and the pumpkin. Like it's just our youth. That's the only reason why. But then obviously like those old like pumpkins and ghosts.
You know what I don't see anymore is the witch that's blasted. You know what I'm talking about? Like everybody
she crashed?
I don't see the witch anymore. That's unfortunate. That was a funny ass decoration when it first came out for like a week, and then everybody got one, and then so much you can do with it.
I do the pumpkin bags still.
The pumpkin
like
bags?
the leaves.
You know? Yeah, that's a good one.
Yep.
That's a good one. I saw somebody. What you could do is you could take an old toilet paper roll, and you put a couple red lights in it, cut holes in it, put it in your bush, so it looks like your bush has eyes.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
If you want to get real creative with if you just get like a couple skids and like maybe just you put like fake hands coming out, and then you can put lights in there too. It looks really cool. Like people are climbing out of your.
That's right. You should all go with the old school Halloween decorations. Don't go to fucking Home Depot and get all those stupid things there. They're $300, $400.
No.
That's a scam. Don't do that. Get some old school shit. Do it yourself. It's a lot more creative. That's my advice to you. But anyway, we're getting off track here. We gotta jump back on the whatever we were doing. What are we talking about today?
You are a child's plaything. We're talking about Child's Play 3. Chucky has made his return. Honestly, this is the completion of my favorite Child's Play movies. As far as what we've covered on Sloppy Horror, don't get me wrong, Curse and Seed and Cult, they're okay. I really mean that from my heart.
Did we do the first two?
Yes.
I know we did the first one.
We did Bride. So we've done
the second one too?
Yep, 1, 2, and 4 is what we've covered. So the first 4 Child's Plays, I mean, even though one's Bride of Chucky, but you know what I'm saying. Don't be pedantic, little assholes. You know what I'm saying.
Pedantic?
Mm-hmm. When you see people like on the internet, like if you make a comment and then somebody like corrects you with like they're there, like even though you should know that,
dude,
like
I love doing that.
You should know that they're theirs. Let's go like a step further. If you were like if you were like, oh yeah, well in that disaster 100 people died. Actually, only 98 people died. Okay, no, Mr. Pedantic.
I'll tell you
like
this.
that's what that would be.
I'll tell you this, dude. If you ever have an argument on somebody with the internet and they lash back at you, the most satisfying thing to do is if they type something is correct their grammar.
Oh yeah.
Just come back with that. It's the ultimate fuck you, because there's like there's nothing you can do about it, and it's hilarious.
I usually find the you and the UR is the most common offender.
There's a big one too.
Mm-hmm. Which is weird. Like those are not that hard.
No, that's something you learn in like 3rd grade, dude.
No.
You had an entire test.
Same with twos.
Theirs.
Like when people don't know like how to use two correctly, it's like
or lose.
Yeah.
Lose and loose are another one that I see.
Yep. There's weird words like that.
And this is like basic stuff. Now, and you have stuff that corrects it. Your phone corrects it too. There's like, you see that little line under it? Means
you could
fucked
just
up.
literally hit the microphone
That
and say it
means
in there and learn how to spell it.
Oh, dude, old people love that talk to text thing.
I do if I'm driving. Yeah, if I'm driving, I will.
Yeah.
It just depends on like if it's like an okay, if that's all I'm sending, no, I can do that. But if it's like some, hey, do you know where this is? It's like, all right.
Dude, my phone when I say okay, my phone automatically corrects it to all capitals. You send okay in all capitals, that's not cool. I don't know. For some reason, people take offense to that. But anyway, all right. Children's Play 3. Children's Play 3. This is good. This is a fun movie.
Yeah.
This feels like Halloween time is creeping around. So this was a good choice here. I like this little stop here where we're at. I feel like we're starting to get into a little bit of the woods. Some leaves are falling with this movie right here.
What's really funny, too, is there are people still, and, I make my own decisions. I don't let people make my decisions, but the decisions, when it comes to favorites within a franchise, a lot of people put, like, Seed and Curse and Cult over Child's Play 3, and I don't see that at all. Like, Child's Play 3, I watched this a lot in my youth, and is it the best out of them all? No, not at all, but this was 90s Chucky. I mean, this came out in 91. This was a big part of what I considered Chucky to be. I mean, he was a shit talker. He laughed at you. And one of the coolest parts to me about Chucky, everybody has their own sequence of kills. And there are villains who take joy in killing you and laugh at you. You got your Freddys, even your Leprechauns. There's something really they do in the Child's Play movies, which I'll give Don Mancini all the credit, but you see Chucky's thoughts before they happen. Like, it's like for example, in this movie, like when the garbage truck guy goes into the back of the garbage truck because Chucky's screaming and he thinks there's a guy back there. So he goes back there and you just see Chucky slow walking towards the cab of the truck. He gets it. You know what he's doing. I love how they set up the kills in these movies. It's so slow-mo and funny, and you're like, oh shit, I see what he's doing. You get a little bit of that like with Jason, but it's quicker. It'll be like machete, psh, blood spray. Chucky just has this little, like, he's walking with that ruler. He's
coming.
The build up to his kills. Think of Tiffany in the bathtub where he's like, like there's so many, like, I don't know what it is. He just has, out of all of the villains, maybe the best build up to his kills. They're just really fun. And even though they're choreographed, even though you can kind of feel where the move's going, like, you want that to happen. Like, once that guy went in the garbage truck, you're like, all right, yeah, crush him up. That's what you're going to have to do. Chucky's throwing darts at people, wrapping people up with yo-yos. Yeah, I kind of want to see this. This is fun. This is creative. But I guess we do need some synopsises, but you guys know the routine. We have to learn about the year this movie came out, so let's fill shoes.
Fill the shoes, walk the path of the wicked. Unleash the fury, let the chaos reign.
Oh, yeah. Look, boys and girls, what the hell is a movie? What the hell is entertainment without a little context, you know? You need a little context. Let me just sprinkle it on for you, because seriously, guys.
Sprinkle me with your context.
You can't just be listening to music and watching movies and then judging them when they're old, because that might have been cool back then. And even if it's not now, we don't have to make fun of it. So, what was cool in August 30th? On August 30th, 1991?
Hey, I was born in 1991.
That's right. Ozark Mark, you were a couple months old.
Yeah.
You know what was cool besides Ozark Mark on August 30th, 1991? Banging your girlfriend. I think that was a fun thing to do in 1991. I feel like, you would have had, I don't know, I mean, you didn't have internet, so it's like, that's a lot of jerk in it. So you're probably showered more. You're like, all right, I'm going to pick her up, clean up my car. And that, like, I miss those times. You remember? Now I don't care. I'm not cleaning my car. I mean, my car is clean, but I'm not cleaning it for you. You could eat my ass. Like, I'm not doing that. In the 90s, you'd get a good car clean. Like, we're going out on a date. So that was cool to do. Banging girlfriends. What else was cool to do? The police beating up Rodney King. They thought that was fun to do, but it wasn't. It made a lot of turmoil in this country, and if you were alive or if you remember being young, however old you were, that was a big deal. It was fucked up, shined a light that there's some crooked cops out there in the world, but that really did. You remember Larry King, then OJ eventually came, but those early 90s were tense times.
Yeah, I don't remember. I was 4 months old at this point.
They was fighting. Mark was there. He was just a baby.
I was crawling around.
He was just there. So, not only was that going on, what big things did we have going on? Obviously, Michael Jordan won his first ring. That's to start that Bulls dynasty. They started that. And then obviously grunge was kicking ass, dude. Nirvana kind of took the cake. They got the #1 spot, with like Teen Spirit. Mm-hmm. Not my favorite out of the grunge bands, but I do like them more so than others. #1 TV shows when this came out: Family Matters, Roseanne, Cheers, and 60 Minutes. Grandpa Show.
It's still on. I hate that fucking noise, dude.
Later, find out how
I know.
COVID has worked its way into airports' food. You're like, what?
Yeah, they used to be the top tier interview thing, but I feel like they've fallen off. Damn it, now I got that fucking noise stuck in my
Dude,
head.
that's a key sound from our childhood. They're like,
I know.
like Grandpa was about to have the TV, or his dad, some man was
some
watching.
shit is about to go down with this clock ticking.
Or no, Al-Qaeda's been making dog food in Arizona. You're like, what the fuck? Al-Qaeda's making dog food in Arizona?
Wasn't Barbara Walters on that or something?
Yeah.
Barbara Walters,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. I
Or
remember
20,
that.
it was like 2020 or something. It was one of those. One of those
60 Minutes.
old school reporters. So, let's think about the music at the time. The #1 song when this movie dropped was Everything I Do by Bryan Adams, which I'm not going to lie to you is probably one of the most cornball songs of all time. Like, that's songs that moms take long
How's it
baths
go?
to. Everything I do it all for you.
I don't know. Next.
Oh, it's horrible.
That probably. It
It's a
sounds
horrible
like it.
song.
It sounds like it.
Let's see. Roxette, they were #2. I don't even know who they are. Okay, It Ain't Over Till It's Over, Lenny Kravitz. That was a top song. Wind of Change by Scorpions. All right, so that's a good. I like that song. I like that. You had other songs in the top 25 like Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch, the Good Vibrations.
Mm-hmm.
You've got them. Come on, feel it. It's
Everybody
hard.
calls me Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. It's like, come on.
Think of something cooler.
Stop it.
Think of something cooler.
I know.
Let's think about the #1 movies at the time. The Child's Play 3 came out, to give you guys a little context. All right. #1 movie in theaters at the time was the mystery thriller Dead Again. Had Robin Williams in there. It's a really weird movie, kind of an artsy-fartsy movie. Child's Play 3 made its way to #2 in the charts.
Yeah.
Also in the top 10, Terminator 2.
Ooh, that's the best one.
I
That's
like,
the best
it
one.
is the better movie, but
Yeah.
I probably like the first one more.
Well, the first one's more like a horror movie.
It
That's
is.
probably why you like it.
It's like the first one without context of the second one is like, I love that the second one came out, but I'm saying if only the first one came out, like it would be like a different, I don't know. Like
It
was
wouldn't be
like-
as popular, I don't think.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
You needed the
Second one kind of shed some more light on it and stuff like that. So.
Well, you needed the Capri Sun Terminators. You needed the liquid steel. That's what they needed.
Oh, you've ruined that for me ever.
But it did that changed for some reason in the 90s. That was the thing that made total sense. You were like, oh yeah, that could happen.
It can happen. It will happen.
Yeah.
I guarantee it. Guarantee it is what I meant to say.
Also in the theaters at the time, Hot Shots,
Hot Shots.
Robin Hood. Remember Robin Hood?
Which one? Just the first regular
Men in
one?
Tights?
Oh, yeah. That's a fucking fantastic movie.
Yep. Boys,
Oh man, I said, hey, Blinken.
Boys in the Hood, also a good movie. And then let's get right down to the sports. Your NBA champions of 1991 were the Chicago Bulls. The 1991 MLB champions were the Minnesota Twins. And your NFL champions, the Super Bowl champions of 1991, the New York Giants. And Stanley Cup champs of 91 were the Pittsburgh Penguins. So if you were a sports fan at that time, if that triggers any memories, welcome back to 1991. So let's talk about The Children Plays 3.
Children's Play 3, please.
All right.
Go on.
Well,
Tell me about it. What can I expect?
Chucky, come back. Chucky done come back. As you guys all know, the little boy, Andy Barkley, from the first two movies, he's got a history with Chucky because the way the voodoo works with Chucky, whenever he reemerges, or whoever Chucky confessed that he was a person inside of a doll to first, that's the only person he could transfer his soul into. And that was a young boy named Andy. So that's why he's terrified his life for the first two movies, and it continues to the third one. As a matter of fact, like Chucky's kind of ruined the name Andy for me. Like I can say it right here, right now. But if you were my friend, like Andy, like he always emphasizes it, Andy, Andy. Like there's like so many syllable levels to that and so many pitches. I love Chucky for that. I mean, Brad Dourif, one of the best voice actors of all time. Chucky laugh is one of the hardest to imitate, but one of the best. It's like it's better than the Crypt Keeper. You have the from the Crypt Keeper, and Chucky, he takes it to a cackle. I mean, it is a laugh that you recognize instantly. If Brad Dourif went to a grocery store, went 3 aisles over, and just put his hands up and cackled that Chucky laugh, you'd be like, Chucky's here. Like, that's Chucky's laugh.
If I heard that laugh in public, I'd be gone.
Yeah, I'm like,
I don't know what's happening here, but we need to leave immediately.
I feel like there's a murderer close by.
Very maniacal laugh.
Seriously.
Probably one of the best maniacal laughs.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a large reason of why Chucky worked. Now, obviously, dolls are always going to be creepy, and it's going to work well to some degree, but Brad takes it a notch over because he's just funny, and he has so much inflection in his voice. There's so much passion, and then those rage moments we've discussed before, like Chucky goes 0 to 250, like, you bitch! And he's freaking out, swinging. It's so funny. That is hilarious to me. He's just like a little mosh pit coming at you, dude. Like, he's just ready to... Little man syndrome, for real. Like, he's not afraid. And I just love that about him, and it would not work without the voice. Well, the point of all of this is Andy is now, it's a few years later, now he's a teenager, and since obviously he's been bouncing around from orphan homes, foster families, and it didn't work, now his ass is in a military school, and he seems like he's doing okay. I mean, the normal roughness of a, what you would think of a military school, dealing with asshole brown nosers, and just, it's kind of lame. He's dealing with that. And everything's copacetic until the Chuckster shows up. He finds out where Andy is. He shows up, and he starts taking people out. And he ends up, I guess since he was remade, he's a new doll now, he had talked to one of the little cadets named Tyler. It's this little boy that Andy's kind of friends with, but Chucky now has the capabilities of transferring his soul into Tyler. So he's trying to prey on him, and Andy is doing his best to try to save Tyler. And yeah, that's pretty much that. And there's Chucky, and he kills people, and
then he fails.
Yep.
And then you go on with your life.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Chucky movie. That pretty much sums it up. What you can expect? What are you gonna expect? Nothing less, nothing more. There you go.
Yep. I'm curious. Have you seen this movie before?
No.
Okay. I'm surprised. I feel like you may have. I wouldn't be surprised if you had, but also not surprised that you hadn't. No.
I haven't. I mean, I've never really seeked out the Chucky movies before. I like them.
He's so funny.
I know he's funny. You know, I mean, that's just, I'm not a horror nerd, so I just don't, seek out movies. And then, of course, I'm by myself most of the time, so I don't watch movies by myself. The only time I watch a movie is when I have to do it for this show. So, but it's cool, because I'm, like, discovering this shit for the first time. So it's,
I kind of like that, too. Because obviously I am a fan of movies, but life happens, and you don't always have the time just to I'm going to sit down and watch a movie, like when you have time to yourself, 100%. But I do like that the show kind of forces me to, a real challenge. I really think a good mental exercise, for anybody, and you still are watching something, but watch a movie at home and put your phone in the other room. Mm-hmm. And if you can do that, it's hard. It's really hard. I'm not saying I do it all the time because I'm mentally stronger than everyone. No. I'm not saying that. I'm saying it's a challenge. But if you can do that, that can really, it gives me the feeling of what I felt like watching movies before. Because there's obviously a term for it. They have terms for it. But really, the nature of how they make movies now, unless it has some kind of continuation of a pre-existing franchise, they're not making it generally. They're just not doing it. And it's really sad because when we grew up, they had all kinds of fucking random movies. Here's Biodome. The same week you're getting Air Force One. You're like, oh, cool. These are widely different. You're like, are these sequels? You're like, no, they're new. They're new ideas. Are these all going to do well? No, but they'll fall in the right hands to the right people. Has everybody seen People Under the Stairs? No. But the right people have. And I miss when content was like that. It was like it would just find its way to the right people. And now I feel like they aim so much to be like, oh, there's got to be post-credit trailers and a sequel, continuation, and this and that. And for as much as I like that for some things, comic book movies make sense. I do want continuity. I do like a little cameo. If Spider-Man pops up in this one, cool. Spider-Man, Captain America, hell yeah. In regular franchises, I don't really want to see that as much. I don't really like that as much. And because we've been spoon-fed this since we were a kid. Even our favorite franchises, they just cranked out sequels like it was nobody's business. But at least back then, they had the decency of giving us some new content. There's not a whole lot. You look so excited for Beetlejuice 2? Does Beetlejuice 1 still exist? Then probably not.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never seen Beetlejuice, so it might be good. Who knows?
I've heard mixed, and I'm going to see it. I just and I'm really not trying to go on with the low bar. I just do not like the way Michael Keaton looks. He looks old. He is old, but it's just I don't want to see do you want to go see Aerosmith on tour? You're like,
no.
I don't, dude. They're gonna look like grandpas, and I love them. I'm not knocking them. They've done their role and they've done their part, but it just gets to a point where it's nah. I just don't really want to.
They're just money grabs. Is what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's just money grabs now, and that's unfortunate because the viewers suffer when money grabs are happening. But we still fall victim to it because what else is there?
Our buddy Shane said it was pretty good. I take his opinions, serious when he's talking horror. So, I did hear a lot of good things, but I don't know. A lot of people tell me they love Halloween Ends and Scream 6, So, I don't know. It's hard to say. But I will watch it, and I do want to go in with an open mind. But even though we get legendary killers that get watered down, this is a Chucky movie where Chucky was still the original Chucky. This was pre-stitched Chucky. Bride of Chucky, obviously, he was stitched up. He had a different look, which we do know as Chucky as well. But this was the OG good guy doll. This was that iconic look that we grew up with, and it's really hard to describe the stranglehold he had on our generation's youth because people were afraid of him. Once you reached a certain age, you became cool. You're like, oh, hell yeah, he's my guy. But it wasn't like that. At 5 years old, if you watched the Child's Play film, you're not going downstairs by yourself. These movies had a good scare element to them. And now watching them in 2024, and Chucky's infamous, it's hard to see that as well. But, dude, these fucked kids up.
Well, sure, it's a doll.
Yeah.
That's what they fuck around with, so.
And he's confident. Like, he's not, I mean, don't get me wrong, Jason and Michael are scary, but it's almost like a wild animal encounter. Like, they're just like just dumb. And I don't like the Hannibal Lecter syndrome of, like, this guy's smart and fucking with me. I do not like that. I don't like that. Don't know. Like, if you're gonna do it, just do it. Cut, But don't mess with my head now. Don't laugh at me, Freddy. Just kill me. If that's what you're gonna do, just do. But just no. I'm not going to just kill you. I'm going to put regular bullets in these paintball guns and throw grenades at you, kill you with a yo-yo, throw darts at you, fucking put you in a trash compactor, force you to have a heart attack. That was one of the funniest kills in the movie. That happens sometimes. That reminded me of Freddy versus Jason, where Freddy went to go kill that girl, but Jason got her first, and he's like, no, she's mine. Chucky was mad. He lost one. I mean, it's still technically his kill. He forced the heart attack, but...
Yeah, but he had other plans, I mean,
it's not what he wanted to do.
I know. You ever do something you want to do, and then it turns out the other way, but it happened anyway, you kind of get mad about it.
Yeah.
I'd be mad about it if I was a killer doll trying to get ready to stab this dude, and he just had a heart attack.
You feel for him.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's underwhelming.
Yeah.
I want him to complete his goals just as much as I want you to complete yours.
It's disappointing in some regard.
Yeah, and let's be honest, the Colonel was kind of an asshole. He's being mean to the kids.
The Colonel?
Yeah.
Well, he has to be.
The Colololo.
You expect military people to be nice? No.
Yeah.
We ain't pussies, damn it.
He was like, we don't play with dolls. And you're like, yeah, like... That argument reminded me so much of, like, when I was, like, 5 or 6, and, you'd have, like, your little WWF ring out, and I'd have my wrestling toys.
They're not dolls, they're action figures.
Fucking action figures, Grandpa, shut up!
And they were doing shit. All right, dude, they're doing power bombs and top rope maneuvers.
He's in there playing with his little Barbie dolls. Say it again, Grandpa. Say it the fuck again.
You're just mad, Grandpa, because all you had to play with was a slice of cheese and a ball and string. Shut the fuck up.
All you had to play with was war.
And the radio.
Yeah. War and good and plenty candy. Like, that's what y'all had.
Fuck off, Grandpa.
Were you playing jacks? Sorry, Grandpa. I'm sorry.
Jacks.
I'm sorry, Grandpa.
I never understood that. I never understood jacks. I don't know how it works.
The concept is you, like, sprinkle those little thumbtack looking things down like Mankind all over in front of you, and you gotta, like, bounce a ball and see how many of those you can scoop up and get the ball before it comes back down.
That's stupid. I'd rather play with the ball in the cup with the string attached to it.
Now that's fun.
Yeah.
Now, I can kill some. What about, like, what are them one things that knack back and forth? You know what I'm talking about? Like, it goes this way, then that way.
Oh, yeah,
like
that. I
like
played with the one thing where it's the magnet where you think it's going to fall off and it just rolls.
Yeah, dude, my high ass could spend a good 15 minutes longer than I should with one of those.
Yeah. I don't know why.
Remember those, like, when we were kids, how they had, like, it would be like the water things where you had to, like, shoot it with the bubbles. It'd be like little games and stuff that
Dude, they had one of those at this root beer stand near my work. I went there for lunch and they just had them. Yeah, they have one there. And I started fucking playing with it.
Dude.
It's fun.
There were weird, like, handheld games, like, even, like, the Tiger games. They had Tiger little handheld games, and it was, like, a little cheap, like, screen board where, you like, they'd have, like, Lion King or Aladdin, and it was very simple. Sonic. I had so many of those on Sonic, and those made car rides so much better. But in comparison now, like, to a mobile game on somebody's phone, like, holy shit, dude. We didn't even have backlit screens on our Game Boys.
Fuck
like,
no,
you needed
dude.
a flashlight.
Talking about, like, the worst thing ever was a Slinky. Most disappointing thing in everybody's childhood is trying to get the Slinky to go down the steps. And you get it to go down the steps, but why does it always stop on the last step?
Because it's rude.
I don't get it.
I had a Stretch Armstrong once, and, like, everybody at my daycare, like, they stretched it out and broke it. And, like, I was so nervous that, like, my parents were going to be mad. And, like, I'm holding, my busted up Stretch, waiting for, like, my dad to pick me up. And I get in the car, and I'm like, he stretched too much. He broke.
He overstretched himself.
And, like, I thought he was going to be pissed. He's like, you guys actually broke it? He's like, that? Wow. Like, he's like, we used to try to break those all the time. I was like, you're not mad?
He didn't care. It was, like, probably, like, $30 at the time or some shit.
But it was, like, he was impressed. Like,
yeah,
a bunch of kids were able to do this. Like, how'd you guys do this? I was like, All right, we're out of the clear in this one. Because you never know. Parents could trip on you for anything random.
Yeah,
you know,
it was always random.
Who put your shoes here?
Children's Play 3. We gotta learn more things about this movie.
Okay.
Hello to you. Welcome to the What Do You Know Here. This is a segment here where we're here to tell you something that you may or may not know about this movie. Now you may know what we know, you may not know what we know, but if you know what we know, you're gonna have a we know-gasm. If you don't know what we know, you better find out what we know, and you're gonna have a we know-gasm too. You know, same thing you do to yourself every night when you're lonely and you go to bed.
Yeah.
Helps you sleep. But anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Why don't you tell me something that you may or may not know about this movie, the Child's 3 thing?
3 kids are playing.
3 kids.
3 kids. They're playing down the street. They get on my fucking nerves. I hear them all the time. Bunch of fucking Marys. Anyways.
The 3 dingles.
So here's the deal. Here's what we gotta say about Chucky 3. If you guys remember in the first one, you remember in the opening scene when little Andy's like making breakfast for his mom. He's making a big fucking mess all over the place. Beat the fucking kid. I mean, don't fucking burn the toast and shit. Thanks a lot. Thanks for breakfast. Thanks for this. Wasted $15 in breakfast. Giant mess. Way to go.
Oh, that's the truth right there. I tell you what.
Yeah.
You could not be more accurate.
Yeah. She was too nice about that whole thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But here's the deal. The little boy, he had watched the TV commercial for the little good guy dolls, right? The little dolls. And then, they come out and they say, we're good guys, we're good. And then Andy says, wow. Just like that. Well, the little boy Tyler in this movie, he sees the commercial too, and he does the wow just the same on cue as little Andy did. So if you notice that, it's like a nice little homage to the first one.
Oh, that's a little tidbit that went way over my head. I did not reckon. I didn't catch that. Look at that.
But I'm going to tell you something else here, because I thought this was an interesting little fact, all right? This is the first movie, where Chucky's using a gun, He's using a gun.
He's got a gun.
But it's not just any gun. It's a nickel-plated Beretta 950 Jetfire.
Whoa.
I mean, it's a nice weapon.
It's a pretty nice gun.
Yeah, it's pretty nice there. He's coming with the good stuff here. He's,
It's a good gun for a doll.
you're not gonna catch Chucky lacking. He's there. He's like,
That's about time he had a gun. Most villains don't have guns. It's time to switch it up a little bit.
he needs a little mini Uzi.
That'd be fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I would like that.
Or a mini bazooka.
But that's all the facts I got there. Do you happen to know anything about the Child's Play tree?
Yeah, I know one.
Oh, okay.
So, here's a little fun fact for you, people that are more interested in the production side of things. So, this is the first movie in the Chucky series. Now, keep in mind, this is 1991. So, this is the first time they had CGI assist with the movements of Chucky's mouth. Because, in the first couple ones, they had use
All the
like
puppeteer people.
like 5 or 6 people on robots and shit and all that. They said, nah, we're just gonna, put a little CGI in there with the computer.
I didn't even really
The
notice it was
desktop.
CGI with the mouth. So
It wouldn't do bad, nah, because you sprinkle in a little bit. You gotta have a little bit of CGI, But, in the 90s, when you had too much CGI,
didn't look so hot.
didn't look so good. But I think, I thought it looked pretty good, I didn't, I couldn't tell the difference there. So there
I
you
couldn't
go.
either.
There you go. Well, there you go.
He was moving his mouth all around.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked good though. And honestly, truthfully, there have been I would say there are many facts for this movie that are out there that are kind of more common than others. And I wanted to kind of, stray away from those because, you kind of, I've heard those in other places, other shows, other things, and they're just kind of common. I've even, they're just common. So I hope that these facts are facts that maybe you guys haven't heard.
Yeah. And if you have, go find the other ones. Then, you can figure it out yourself. You got Google.
Yeah, find some more.
Ask Jeeves.
Ask him. He
He'll
knows
tell you.
He knows all kinds of stuff.
He'll tell you.
I mean, he's a butler.
Who doesn't? Who doesn't know that?
Master Wayne.
Yeah. So, okay, there you go. We did our job. That's all we get paid to do. So now we're gonna go.
No more, no less. presto, you dead. Mark, you in the mood for a haircut? Chucky style?
Dude, that haircut guy.
Did you recognize him from
No,
anything?
he looked familiar. Where's he from?
It is in the world of horror, and it is a movie that we've covered probably pretty early on. I would say he's one of the more legendary characters. Not him himself, but he was kind of a pussy in that movie.
Give me a hint.
His wife was a redheaded slut that fed bodies to her brother in the attic until it came alive. And then, because the brother...
Oh, dude, he was in Hellraiser?
Yep.
What did he do in Hellraiser?
He was the dad. He was like Kirsty's dad. And his wife was the redheaded slut who fucked around on him with his brother. But his brother was now dead. But you remember he was like a little skeleton.
Right.
And he needed help because he had fucked around with the Cenobites. So she had to feed him bodies till he came back.
Yeah.
What a weird, crazy concept for a movie. But I was watching, once again, Stoney the Great, guy I like to watch, mutual friends, on TikTok and other places. I really enjoy his content, but he had made something like the real villain of fucking Hellraiser is her. Like, Pinhead's cool. Like, the rest of them are cool. She's a cunt.
Yeah.
like for real, like straight up evil.
Yeah.
But
no, I didn't put two and two together there. Look at that.
Yeah, but my man, Robinson. Andrew Robinson. Yeah, so Andrew Robinson, I loved that. I thought he did a great job. And even though it was a little over the top, you need over the top characters in horror movies, especially when you're talking slashers. Like, I do want that gas station guy. You guys shouldn't be going down there.
Well, you gotta give him reason to die.
Yeah.
Can't just kill everybody for no reason. You gotta have some people that deserve to die. It makes the kills more satisfying. Makes them more fun.
The funniest part about that is, like, because he sees Chucky and he's, like, going to cut his hair with the trimmers. And then, like, when he's inching in closer with the trimmers, they made Chucky have this face where he's like... he's like, it's the dumbest face I've ever seen Chucky have. Like, it's like he's pretending to be dumb, like, like in Toy Story where they're like... they pretend like they're toys. Like, it was like that moment. I don't know why. It makes me laugh every time I see it. And it always has, dude. So if you guys watch this week or, your upcoming months, look at that shot where he's coming in with them clippers and Chucky's like, oh. Like, because usually he's got, like, the doll face. But, he intentionally tried to look dumb. Like, oh. His mouth was open and shit.
Yeah. What's your favorite part of the movie?
I would say my favorite part of this movie, the ending roller coaster ride sequence is pretty cool.
Dude, that whole fucking Devil's Lair thing is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way that's awesome of a ride would be at some fucking middle of nowhere carnival. Whatever
I wish it was.
I know, but dude, that thing was like massive. Like, you see the outside shot and there's like fucking mountains and shit in there. It's like that. Then they fucked that up a little.
You could
bit.
have that open year round. Like, people would travel to go to that.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely. Like, that was insane. But I liked what they did there. That was a pretty fucking awesome thing. That was like, you don't even have that in like theme parks.
No.
Like, legit theme parks. Like, I don't think that was even close to anything that's at Six Flags or anything. Like, that was way over the top.
Yeah, the only ride I'm thinking equally as cool is like the Dr. Satan ride from House of a Thousand Corpses. Those are like the only two, and that's not even like a ride,
Yeah.
but that's the only two of that nature where you're like, oh, okay, yeah, you guys did it right. And that one was cool just because they had that big dude pushing the thing in the back. Like, it's like, yeah, that's part of the experience. I want him pushing us. Yeah, get that guy back here.
Yeah.
Get him back there. I feel like we'd get along. I feel like if you go into those environments like an asshole, that's how you die. But I feel like we'd end up hanging out with Otis. Like, it'd be 4 a.m. We'd be doing shots, like painting our face up and stuff. Who knows? Who knows?
You never know.
But would you say that's your favorite part of Child's Play 3?
Yeah, I like that whole sequence of that. I did like part that made me laugh. Of course, we have to get into that. Is it's when Chucky first gets in a room alone with Andy, and he's explaining how he found Tyler. And he's like, "That's right, Chucky's gonna be a bro." Dude, it's just goddamn.
Because it's
Like,
not
he
even
got-
that
like-
inherently racist.
No,
but
it's not. Like, you could have gone. I feel like they could have gone a lot more racist with it, but they like kept it clean. But like, you know what he was saying. But it was fucking funny as fuck.
like if Candyman in a movie was about to become white and he's like, I'm about to be eating the fuck out of mayonnaise. That's a funny joke. It's funny.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. I get it. I get it. It's funny. I like that. But I tell you another really funny part is Tyler likes Chucky. And like the thing is, Tyler's like that kid that was like the little narc, like the little bitch, you know. Stop saying that or I'm gonna tell mom. Like that kid, that's who he is.
Well, he's a little boy.
Yeah, he's a little bitch for that, you know. Because if I had a friend like Chucky at that age, I'd be like, hell yeah, bro, let's smoke cigs, let's hang out, let's, you know. I was a bad little kid, dude. I think you were too. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you, but it was something like, I remember taking cigarettes at like 6, 7 years old and going off and smoking them. Not like a pack a day, but you'd take one from somebody and you'd have like 2 or 3 of yous out there in the woods smoking it. Little kids, me and my cousins. We would take cigarettes, throw firecrackers, do shit that was evil. Like inherently, let's break shit. Now I'm nervous about everything. But this little boy, he wasn't on that. He was a little snitch. And Chucky would be talking to him and shit, like, he said fuck, and he said, don't say that, Charles. I said, stop calling me that. Like, he gets mad at him because he keeps calling him Charles, and it's like, he's just like such a good boy that like, I'm not going to call you by some nickname. I don't know if you like that. I'm going to call you Charles because that's what your mama named you. You know, like just the sweetest of dudes. And that's a thing too, like I firmly believe in this study. If somebody calls you by your full name, not like in a mom way or an annoying way, but if you are a person that traditionally goes by a nickname and somebody calls you by your full name, trust that person. That person, most times, I will say, has your best interest. I don't know why, but it is that way. I trust people more, because you remember I went by Chris for a long time when I was younger, and like I trust people more so that called me Christian than that called me Chris. But it's strange. Like there's like level, because if I respond to Chris, if I hear Chris, but if I hear Christian, I feel like it's somebody that I'm like closer to or I know more.
Yeah.
That's very strange, but that's a thing. And this little boy had it. He's calling him Charles. I'm not gonna call you Chucky. This isn't some joke. You're a human being.
Charles.
Don't say that, Charles.
Charles.
Hey, you don't say that.
You don't say that, Charles.
Their relationship was very funny to me. That cracked me up.
I like how Andy had a little Penthouse magazine. Chucky's like, man, Andy, you've grown.
Yeah, we had to use
Got the little spank magazines in there.
Oh yeah, like, and you had to save those images in your mental, because
Sure.
I mean this was a hard work back then, guys. I mean,
But
we
then-
had to steal, we had to, you know, or give your parents' computer some kind of virus. Wasn't the same.
Nope.
And I think the people most fucked up about it is us, because we had to work so hard for it. So I feel like our generation's going to be the ones all addicted to porn and all kinds of crazy shit. And the young people are like, you guys are fucking weird. Why are you so taboo about something? Like, it's always been this way. It's like, no, it hasn't,
No.
motherfucker. You know
No,
what
it
I had to
hasn't.
do to see boobs? You little shit. I had to get a movie. I had to line this up. I had to do all kinds of things to make this work. You little fuck. I'm going to turn off the Wi-Fi so you know what I'm talking about. Everybody's going back to the Stone Age. But that's how it was, man. Little Penthouse magazine. I don't even know if they make those kind of magazines anymore.
Probably not.
I don't know. Like, I literally...
I don't know either. I don't, I still see, like, whenever I'm at the grocery store, I still see, like, Newsweek and fucking
Yeah.
those garbage magazines.
I end up getting some of the specialty ones, like when it would be, like, on something. Like, it's a whole magazine on, like, a particular thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I always get sucked into those.
Golf
Easy.
Digest and shit.
Yep.
That's the only two places you can find magazines anymore is right before you go into a checkout line at a grocery store and a doctor's office.
Yeah.
That's the only place you can find magazines now.
Yeah, that was a staple in the 90s, were magazines, dude. You'd get everybody, you'd clip them out, get
Because you didn't
band
have your
posters.
phone to scroll through everything.
That's true.
You got a little computer in your pocket.
Now, I mean, I still do read physical books, but I crush audiobooks, dude. Like, I would say, like, at least 3 to 4 audiobooks a month. But nature of my jobs, nature of what I'm doing, like, I generally have AirPods in. So
You have AirPods in when you drive?
when I'm doing deliveries and stuff, and it depends on which vehicle I'm in. If it's a vehicle where I can't connect my shit to it, yeah, for sure. I'm not going to listen to the same 5
I
songs all
can't
day.
drive with headphones on. That's dangerous as shit.
I'm not like I'm not like usually listening to music. Like if I wanted to listen to music, I'll listen to the radio kind of deal. Sometimes like obviously sports radio, but it's usually just podcast or books.
Yeah, but I just don't like driving and not being. I gotta at least hear faintly what's around me. Because if you don't, that's just fucking weird to me. But yet I work out with blaring headphones, so I don't hear anything. So it's a little different, but I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but that's how it goes.
I feel like now that I'm thinking about what you're saying though, like I feel like if I had like Metallica on in my AirPod, like that would be weird. That would give me. But I'm usually listening to something like very boring and talking at this pace, and something not too crazy. And it's like something to keep me from going crazy because I'll keep going in and out of these different shops, and it's just like I'm listening to something. But I listen to a lot of books, but it's just a different world now. I mean, I think that you could listen to them. I mean, people did books on tape back then, but they were like books on tape.
Yeah.
And like you're still kind of there's something to it. Now, man, you'd be surprised that if there's a good narrator. Now, there could be a really good book out there. If it's got a bad narrator, you're not listening to it.
Dude, audiobooks ruin it for me if the narrator's not good. I can't get into it whatsoever. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you could be talking about the coolest shit, but
Yeah.
vice versa. If you're a cool talker, man, I could probably listen to a dumbass book just because you've got great inflection. But
Yeah, I'll let you. You could read me fucking ingredients on the back of shampoo bottles if you got a cool voice and you do it in the right way.
I've been meaning to download because there's a newer Chucky book that just came out. It's from Dustin McNeil. He's the guy that wrote like Taking Shape, which was all about the Halloween franchise. He did Slash of the Titans, which is like really in detail on Freddy versus Jason and all the different scripts and how long it took. Well, he did one on the Child's Play franchise, which I have not listened to. Obviously, I could have did a little better research for this movie. In doing so, but I just haven't had time. But that's next on the list. It's early September, so like I listen to some 9/11 books. That's what I do generally this time of year.
It's fucking interesting. You can't help it.
Yeah,
You can't help it.
real life horror story.
But you know what else is interesting? If I'm gonna fucking look for a movie, I trust the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating, and which is what I want to know what this rates on the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating.
Sloppy horror rating, baby, yeah!
Yeah, that's right, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, people of all ages. You are here in the world-famous, world-renowned, one-of-a-kind, universal Sloppy Horror Podcast rating developed by Christian Ramey himself. This is a horror movie rating system, not a movie in general, so remember that, you son of a bitch. And how are we going to do this? We're going to do this in a series of 4 categories. 3 categories worth 3 points, less categories worth 1.48, so to love.
10 points altogether.
That's right, and you are going to know exactly what type of horror movie this is, what level of a horror movie this is right now. So let's get into the first category here in the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating, and that is casting.
They did replace Alex Vincent because this is an older character, and Justin Whalen is who played Andy Barclay in this one. He did a good job. There's the old Perry Reeves. That's the girl who played Silva in this. She's kind of famous. She did like Entourage. She was in the movie Old School with Will Ferrell. But this is just a slasherish style movie, so there's really nothing too crazy here. And I'm honestly thinking 1 is the fair answer here.
Fun.
1.
So that's 1 out of 10 so far here on the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating. Let's get into the second category here on the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating, and that is kills.
So we have 8 altogether.
8.
We have Yo-Yo. We have darts. We got Trash Man. We have a heart attack. We got the barber getting his throat slit. We have a kid getting shot with a rifle. We have a grenade. We have the security guard who died off screen, but he was shot. And then Chucky falling into that giant fan. For me, this is really screaming a 2.5 because there's not that one kill on there, but that's a lot of different shit going on.
That's a lot of death. That's nothing super iconic. I'd say the most eerie kill out of all of them was the garbage kill.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, that's a slow death. Like, you know, I mean, you've looked at the garbage. Everybody's thought of dying that way at one point in your life and how much that would fucking suck. But
I know you're not a Star Wars person, but in the first one, they get stuck in this, like, trash compactor. Like,
yeah, that's a common fear. I don't care who you are. It's a fucking common fear. Getting enclosed on, it's a common fear, but it wasn't very iconic. It was, you know, it was just a simple...
And then he did the tilt back. Yeah.
Yep, but there's a lot of creativity there, and the quantity is good. So I like it. So that's 2.5 for that one. So that is 3.5 so far here in the Sloppy Horror Podcast ratings. Getting into the final 3-point category here in the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating, and that is fear.
So this one, this is the most complicated category because every movie clearly has scared people at some day and age. In 2024, adults are not going to be afraid of this movie. But I do think Chucky still has the staying power with children because he doesn't talk like a child. He looks like a child, but he doesn't talk like a child. He talks like a fucking potty-mouthed adult. Like, he's saying crazy shit. And I think that level of confidence still would freak a kid out. You know, especially, like, if we're talking, like, under 8. Under 8 years old, I still think Chucky has the staying power. But... he's so iconic, but Child's Play 3 ruined many of nights for people, kids, many of evenings, but in my heart, I feel like it deserves a 1.5 because, like, when this came out, I really think this could have been at, like, a 2.5. Like, it rocked worlds. People were terrified of Chucky, or a 2. But after some years, it's just really lost some luster, but it's so hard for me just to say 0.5 point because it's not scary now because it fucked kids up and it was... the first 3 were so iconic. I mean, any one of these 3, a kid in the 90s could watch and it set the legend. You knew who Chucky was and it was like, nah, bro. Like, I don't want any parts of him. But, I don't know. I'm just... for me, truthfully, I'm thinking 1.5 because I think... even more than Jason or Michael or Freddy, I think Chucky still has the staying power of fear because it's like that weird ratio for kids because he's like same size but an adult. Mm-hmm. Like I don't know, he's really one of those ones for me. Even Annabelle kind of crosses. Like for kids when they're little kids, elementary school kids, I still think Chucky would rock their world. I really do. So I'm gonna go 1.5. I'm conflicted. What do you think? Do you like 1.5?
Sure, 1.5 is good. You know, not much you could say there. So that is 5 out of 10 so far here on the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating. Last category here for 1 point, for 0.5 point each, and that is rewatchability.
Yeah, definitely rewatchable. I remember my 16th birthday party. Ask my buddy Sandy about it. We threw it at my buddy Bernie's house, and it wasn't a cool party. Everybody was getting down, getting drunk. I was not. I wasn't drinking that much. What I was doing was watching horror movies. It was a horror movie marathon. That's what I wanted everybody to come over and do. And surprisingly, somehow I got people to do it. But there was alcohol involved.
That's how you got people to do it.
This movie was the movie that stood out to me the most from that evening of watching it. Just everybody sitting around and watching. And this movie just lives there for me. And I think I'll be able to rewatch it forever because of that.
Yep. I mean, it's easily rewatchable. It's right in the sweet spot of an hour and a half. It's a slasher. Not too crazy story, paid attention. You got kills there. It's a fun time movie, and it's Chucky. So, rewatchable, especially around the Halloween time. This is one of your arsenal you can pop in there and have fun with, so it's easily rewatchable. So that is a total of 6 out of 10 for Child's Play 3 here on the Sloppy Horror Podcast, right back up in your ass.
That's pretty nice.
It's pretty nice. There you go. Now you know.
It's very nice. Now, oh man, I gave no call to action earlier.
Call to action.
I gave no call to action earlier.
What
but
are you talking about? What's that? What?
for all the boys and girls out there, if you are watching
Oh, this.
on YouTube, you make sure that you are subscribed. Furthermore, I want you guys to know that you could support the show in more ways than that. You can open up your phone on Apple Podcast or Spotify and give that bitch 5 stars. You can even write a review. You could write something down. That helps us out a lot more than you think.
Just do it now, because I know we got a lot of people listening week after week, and that does not add up to the amounts of reviews and whatever it is you just said.
Yeah.
So just do it real quick, because I know if you haven't, you feel a little guilty every time he does this call to action. So you need to do it right now so you don't feel guilty.
Yeah.
And then you can sleep at night, unless you're on a mattress for a mattress firm. That's how people sleep at night, I've heard.
Yeah, and we're gonna start ramping it up, especially since we're getting more into October. But I'm not saying this in some kind of car salesman pitch, guys. We really need you. If you guys are diehard fans of the Sloppy Horror Podcast, we're thankful that you make us a part of your week. But if you are one of those people who really fuck with the show, man, you could really go above and beyond and help spreading the word. I mean, we're going to do it. I'm going out this weekend. I'm going to go to to Horror Hound on Saturday. Just hand out some cards like we always do. I'm just going to always be promoting and going hard. Obviously, we're made the commercial. We've had a lot of fun doing this, and we need your guys' help too, because we have goals here where we want to be at the end of this October, and we guys think you could really help us get there. So we're going to talk a little bit more about those goals on next episode, maybe some fun things that you guys can do, and it'll make it worth your while, because as you guys know, we do have the Sloppy Horror Podcast Road to Halloween 2024 shirts out. They look really fucking cool, actually, Mark. Like, I worked very hard on that one, and now that I've seen it, I need you to see it, because I feel like you're gonna order those immediately.
I've seen it.
Oh, you saw it?
Yeah.
Well,
You showed it to me.
well, I made like a new one
You made another one?
like a new one last night. So it is from that design, right? But like I made
I
it.
thought it was already out.
Well,
What are you doing with yourself over there? Because you tell me the Sloppy Road to Halloween t-shirt is out. Now you make a new design. What are you doing?
it was, but it was kind of basic. Like I just had that, and I did not like that. But really, I'm a great horror. I don't want to say historian, but I'll say I'm a horror, educator.
Concierge.
Yeah,
I don't know what that means, but it sounds good.
Yeah, I like that. So that's what I'm doing with horror. But I don't necessarily know everything about making t-shirts. So I really had to get the finesse down on like the right sizes for the images, things like that. And I feel very confident with that one. And it is just, dude, the colors, the whatever, like, I want it.
All right, is it up now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's up. And then it's got like the 2024 in there too. It's like,
Well,
you guys got a couple weeks.
We'll wait for the sale. Where's the sale happening?
I know there's one going on this week for like 20%. We'll have to see what's. I'm going to be posting for the Instagram and the things, and on Facebook, TikTok, to kind of let everybody know when the sales are happening. But generally, there are sales going on every week. There's something, either free shipping, 20% off, or 15% off. There's always something going on. So make sure that you guys are looking for that. And if you see nothing, reach out and say, hey, Christian, when you got something going on sale?
What the fuck?
And I have access to see the dates of when that's going on. So, hell yeah.
Terrific.
I'm so excited, guys. We are working our way right through. I mean, it is the beginning of September. I guess it's more like middle when this episode's coming out. You guys, don't let everybody else around you get all pumpkin spice to make, try to outdo you. This is your time.
Look, don't get pumpkin spice. It's bad for you.
Oh, I love pumpkin spice, but I'm saying,
I hate you.
don't. It's delicious.
No,
I love
it's not.
I love pumpkin anything.
It's not. No, pumpkin spice is not delicious. Now, pumpkin pie.
Yeah, that's
You're
good.
talking about or some pumpkin roll.
Yeah,
I'll
bread.
fuck with some pumpkin roll. Pumpkin
Really?
bread is good too, but pumpkin spice.
It's the same
no.
thing.
No, it's not.
That's what's in pumpkin
it's
pie.
not. It's not good in the liquid form. I'm sorry. It's not good.
Oh, you don't like the drinks from it?
Nah, I
Okay.
don't like the liquid pumpkin spice. But the solid foods,
Okay.
are fantastic.
I like that. At least you like some variety of pumpkin.
Of course.
But everybody around y'all is going to start putting up their decorations and being like, have you guys seen this before? No. You guys say, fuck that. I'm already on the road. I'm a sloppy little whore, and I'm on a road to Halloween, and there's nothing you can do about it because I'm coming and you're October 31st. All right?
That's right, bitch. And we're out. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, tell them.